Now, someone who knows this devastation firsthand is HGTV's Todd Talbot. You know him from Love It or List It, Vancouver. Todd and his family watched their dream home go up in flames in West Kelowna back on Friday, and Todd joins us now. Todd, how are you? How is the family?
Well, we're safe and staying with family actually in Calgary at the moment. But it's, I was just looking at the photo behind you, and yeah, it's emotional just to look at and hear the stories of all the people. The thing that resonates most with me about what you were just talking about was the community, like the outpouring of support and people sending messages. And but seeing those images it's tough to watch.
Yeah, Todd, can you take us back to Friday and exactly what happened?
So you start to lose track of time a little bit, but in the evening, I could see at the beginning of the day that the smoke was intensifying kind of behind our house. Looking at the app about where the fire was located, the smoke in the air was intense, and that was what motivated me to suggest to Rebecca to take the kids somewhere else that they could, get away from the smoke a little bit. Never did I think that we would be in a situation like we're in now. Over the day, you could see the smoke coming up over the mountain right behind us. Friends across the lake would send me pictures suggesting that this fire was moving quickly. There was changes in the weather, and the wind was picking up like crazy. At around 7:30 at night, I had people drywalling the house that evening, and I said to them, I think you guys should go home. About an hour later, I could see that the color had changed right behind our house, and the red was coming up over top of the mountain. Trucks came ripping down the driveway. There was about 4 or 5 of us still in the bay. And firefighters jumped out of their trucks and said, you guys got to get going now. I was getting messages from people saying that this fire is moving really quickly. At that point, your brain doesn't quite know what to do, kind of grabbing things, throwing it in the truck, and leaving. And still at that point, it hadn't really occurred to me that homes were going to be destroyed. Fire was coming, yes, but yeah. So it was an intense evening.
At what point did you know that your home was gone?
Well, text messages are flying back and forth between neighbors trying to get some information. That night, we didn't know anything. It was dark. It was smoky. No one could really tell anything. Apparently, at 5 a.m. the next morning, the homes were still standing. But by around 8 o'clock, 8:30, I got a call from a neighbor who said, I didn't want to text you, but one of your neighbors, the trailer was on fire and your house is up in flames. And, it kind of hits you. It feels surreal. And then I was sent a video. And one of the videos that you played, and, when you see it with your eyes, we were in Vernon. The kids, of course, asked what was I looking at? So I told them, and of course they broke into tears. And yeah, you're just trying to kind of manage the emotion of it and the realities of it. And it's very bizarre.
Yeah, Todd, you mentioned text messages going back and forth. Have you been able to communicate with some of your neighbors or the rest of the community there? How's everybody doing? How's everybody holding up?
I think people are still in shock to a certain degree. I think people are thinking, what next? You quickly get to that point. You're looking at the landscape. You're thinking, what is the reality of moving back in? Ray and Susan, my neighbors, lived there for 30 years. Everything they have is gone. There's just so many bits and pieces you're trying to reconcile in your head, but people are communicating, and I think that's sharing information and trying to just strategize and I guess be in communication with each other is all anyone can do, because we're not allowed back in yet. So no one has really seen what's happened firsthand.
And Todd, I guess in these moments you have to look at your family and look at each other and say, we're here, we have each other.
Everybody's safe.
Oh,
yeah.
100%. Yeah, I mean, that is the key component. The community coming together, the firefighters out there, I mean, they are, I just can't imagine what they're taking on. And of course, miraculously, people have been safe throughout this process. And I think that is a testament to people sharing on social media and communicating and, making smart choices to actually leave when they are evacuated. So yeah, it's crazy times.
Yeah. Todd, listen, glad you and your family are doing well. You're okay, as well as can be expected under the circumstances. And thanks so much for joining us this morning. We appreciate it.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.